What's up, guys? Chris Zaglansky here with Zaglansky Cycle, and today we're going to be taking a closer look at the 2021 Specialized Aethos Pro. So this bike is brand new platform, never seen before, although we did have a sneak peek of this bike in the 2020 Tour de France. There were some rumors and some pictures of this bike on top of one of the team cars. I believe it was on the Dakuni Quickstep car. We didn't see any of the riders actually use it. Most of them were on the brand new SL7 and some of the older style Venge frames, which is the last time we will see the Venge. But this is a brand new bike. When they first released it, a lot of people are saying it looks like a SL4 tarmac, SL5 tarmac. What's the deal with this bike? Well, when Specialized released this bike, they're going for the absolute lightest bike possible. They're trying to accomplish the lightest disc brake bike on the market, because what we're seeing is a lot of these companies like Trek, Cervelo, Scott, Specialized are all switching from rim brake to disc brake. So this is their pro model of the Aethos. It retails around $7,400, which is $200 more than the new SL7 Pro, and we'll kind of get into details why they did that. This model is going to be equipped with the Ultegra Di2 hydraulic disc brakes. It comes with the carbon S-Works shallow bar, which we've seen this bar. They've used it before on previous external tarmacs, like the SL5 and the SL6 came with this bar because it wasn't internally routed. It was just routed behind the handlebar. This is the blue tint color, and I think it looks really, really good. I mean, we're kind of cloudy day today, but if you take this thing out of the sun, it has a bluish tint to it all across the frame. Just really clean frame, not a lot of decaling on there. This is a size 56 and it is a Fact 10R carbon, so it's really, really light. It came in around 14 pounds, kilos, probably 6 or 7 ounces. The bike is just beautiful, and the reason why Specialized put such a big price tag on this bike, because back in 2012 when they released the McLaren Tarmac and that McLaren Venge, they used a different pattern when they put this bike together. So it had, instead of the mold being stamped, they actually have it, the carbon butted straight down the middle and put together. So instead of just laying the carbon on top of each other, it's almost stamped in between. You can kind of see there's like a thin line straight all the way down where the carbon layer is butted on the frame, which makes this frame extremely light, and it costs more to make it that way. So when they made this bike like this, a lot of people are like, man, why is it so much money for a bike that looks like it's an older style frame? It's not even internally routed. It's not even close to comparison look wise to an SL7. Well, that's the reason why. It's because it costs more to make the carbon layout this way. Also on this bike, again, they're going to be using the Specialized power saddle on a 56. I think this is a 143 with a brand new Revol carbon seat post. So that is the Alpinist seat post. Got the A stamped on the front of that, and with the brand new Revol Alpinist wheels. And the circumference of the wheels, the dish, how I should say, comes in around 33 millimeters for it. I know in the previous model version of the CLX 32s, it was a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller actually, and I believe a little bit wider. So taking a closer look at these wheels, I mean, they look amazing. They look really good. One interesting thing that my buddy pointed out to me, my buddy Grant over at GC Performance, said that it's kind of interesting how on these wheels they used a bladed spoke instead of a rounded spoke, but on the new Revol Alpinist, the Rapide wheels, the CL and the CLXs, it came with a rounded spoke, which we don't really understand why. You would think the aero wheel would have bladed spokes, because bladed spokes are more aero. And on this wheel, which is kind of more of like a climbing bike, it should have had rounded spokes, but that's what Specialized chose to do. We threw on the new Pirelli tires on here. It normally comes with this Specialized turbo, S-Works turbo, 700 by 26 tires, but one of our reps dropped these off for us to try out. So we're gonna give this thing a spin and see how it goes. With the Ultegra group set, they specialize equipping it with a 52-36 chain ring on the front with a 172.5 crank arm length. So that's kind of like a standard. All throughout the back, we have the Ultegra Di2 rear derailleur. Looks like they chose to put the longer cage on there. I guess if you're going to be using this bike for climbing, it's better to have a longer cage because you can make your rear cassette you go bigger. I think this is going to be an 11 speed with an 1130 on the back. So I know you could probably go a little bit bigger with the rear longer cage on the Ultegra, but I think the way they have it set up looks really good. Also for the brakes, the Shimano Ultegra hydraulic brakes with the 140 in the rear and the 160 in the front. So personal thoughts on the bike, I think it looks great. I'm going to take it out later today for a ride and kind of give you guys some feedback on how I think it's ride. I mean, the bike is insanely light. I mean, even to the part of this rear seat stay is like you could almost like flex this with your hands a little bit if you kind of apply pressure. So a lot of us were like wondering, hey, is it going to feel like a wet noodle? Is it even going to be enjoyable to ride? If you put some power down on it, are you scared you're going to snap or break the frame? Well, Specialized is really, really good at testing their bikes through and through, even with demos and letting their engineers over at Specialized take them out and test the carbon and how hard and durable it is. So we are really psyched and stoked to ride this bike. I'm going to take it out for a decent ride, see how it goes. But other than that, I mean, if you guys have any questions on this bike, any comments, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment box below and I'll get back to you. But other than that, I think this bike looks beautiful. It looks like just a classic looking road bike with the geometry of the way that the tubes run. I know on the newer style Specialized bikes, that rear seat stay is dropped a little bit lower. So with this bike, they're claiming if that it's a little bit higher, but still under that seat collar that's externally routed, that it's gonna just be a lot more comfortable ride for your rider. Also on this bike, one thing I forgot to mention was if you wanted to run a mechanical group set instead of electronic, I don't know why you do that. The same thing we saw on the SL6. They leave this little like door here with a little Allen key, which you could run a mechanical group set, but that would add more weight. They just give you that option. So thank you Specialized for that. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know. This is Siglansky Cycle, and we'll see you guys next time. Later.